good member from the 19th to move adoption of the amendment.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'd like to move Amendment 906.
Been moved and seconded. We adopt Amendment 906. Remarks. The good member from the 19th, Representative Walsh.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The school superintendents and staffs and teachers and bus drivers in my district don't much like the prototypical school budgeting model. The underlying bill modifies that budgeting model in small ways to try to increase the availability of certain professionals in school districts, particularly nurses and counselors. What this amendment does is it cuts to the chase. Rather than adjusting the complex prototypical school budgeting model by a tweak here and a twist there, it says plainly, let's put one nurse in each medium to large size school in the state. Let's not, Madam Speaker, speak of 0.7 parts of a nurse or 0.3 parts of a nurse. Let's be practical. Let's be real. Let's offer our students a real solution. A nurse, a full-time nurse at their school, in their building. That's what we want to provide, Madam Speaker, and that's what this amendment does. Now, this is not cheap. It will cost money. It will draw money from the allocated buckets of money, pots of money that we make available through the complicated formula. But if that's not enough, Madam Speaker, it will draw money from the state's operating fund, other state resources, to cover the cost to the local schools. You know, it's our paramount duty, Madam Speaker, to provide a high quality, uniform, basic education to the kids of this state. And I think putting a nurse in each building is an important part of that paramount duty. It's expensive, Madam Speaker. It's a bold move, but I think it's the sort of thing we should do to provide a quality education to our kids. Please vote yes on the amendment.
The good member from the 19th to move adoption of the amendment.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'd like to move Amendment 908.
Been moved and seconded. We adopt Amendment 908. Remarks. The good member from the 19th, Representative Walsh.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Well, I'm sorry to see we voted against a nurse in every school. This is a similar amendment. This amendment, using a similar structure, would put a counselor in each school. Again, mid-size and larger schools. Small schools would be exempted. And if the cost from allocated money were spent completely by the school, then the state's resources would backfill and pay for that one counselor in each school. It's the same principle, Madam Speaker. It's the same idea. What we have here is something that the locally elected school board members and the locally hired school superintendents and most of the principals and most of the staff and most of the teachers in my district have told me they want, which again, Madam Speaker, is cutting through the bureaucratic technicalities of the prototypical school budget model and getting to a real solution. That is putting one counselor in each school building so that there's a full-time person there dedicated to helping the kids in that school thrive, help them do well in class, help them map out their plans for their futures. You know, Madam Speaker, all policy and all budgets are about priorities. We have to make putting these resources in the schools our priority. We have to not just talk about it, we have to deliver. And yes, this would force some choices among our budget makers here, but that's a good thing, Madam Speaker. These are the kinds of choices we want to make at this level. Allocating the funding in a clear and practical way so that the kids in our schools can have the services they need. This is the thing, Madam Speaker. Our duty, our paramount duty here in this chamber isn't to school districts, it's not to school buildings, Madam Speaker, it's to the kids, it's to the students. And this amendment cuts through the bureaucracy and puts a counselor close to those kids where the counselor can help them. Let's do this, Madam Speaker. Let's speak plainly and clearly to what we're providing our kids. Please vote yes on the amendment.
The good member from the 19th, Representative Walsh.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. It's a close call on this bill, but I'm going to ask for a no vote. Madam Speaker, when we discuss our K-12 education policies, we often come to a sort of parting of perspectives on how we can best deliver the high quality uniform education that we need to provide to all the kids in the state. And I think this boils down, Madam Speaker, to a focus on process versus a focus on results. The prototypical school budgeting model, flawed as it is process. It is not results. And I think, Madam Speaker, when we focus too much on fiddling with the process and adjusting the process, we end up creating a Rube Goldberg contraption that does not always deliver the best result. We see this in many ways, Madam Speaker. We see it in the lower test scores among students in this state. We see it, as others have mentioned, in the anxiety and mental and behavioral health issues that are manifesting. We see it in many ways, Madam Speaker. The results aren't as good as we want. The results aren't as good as the kids of this state deserve. We will have this conversation, we will have this debate, I suspect, in the future, Madam Speaker. But what we really need, what the kids of our school system need, are real solutions. They need that nurse, they need that counselor, they need those good teachers. They need resources in front of them in the building, and not theory and not process, but results. We need better results, Madam Speaker. We need better results. That's why I'm asking for a no vote.